Hey everybody, welcome to the Black Diamond Call from Monday, October 23rd. This is John Lavenia, your host, as I am each week, and we're going to have a fun call tonight. I've got a special guest joining us who's running just 5 or 10 minutes late, and he'll be joining us midway through the call today. But this call is one of my favorites. It's something that I've been doing for some years now in various forms before Digital Altitude existed, and was asked to bring it here into our community, and here it is, right? So I want to first of all welcome our brand new members. I know we've got many people who have just recently gotten started as a result of a lot of people getting started with their marketing now. And after last week's event, there's no mystery about that. So many people who I got to meet for the first time on our at our Marketing Mastery event in Las Vegas, actually just outside of Las Vegas in Henderson, Nevada, last week, and I can tell you the breakthroughs are all around us. So want to welcome everybody. If you are brand new here, I consider you the most important person in the company because you are the future. So not old relics like me. But anyway, I do have some experience to share, and that's what we do here each week on the Black Diamond Call. On these calls, you're going to hear about how we've gotten to the top of our game. And of course, the game that we're all in is the top tier direct sales business model, which in my experience, and I'll just start with this, in my experience, nothing has beaten this. You know, not writing books, not running my own companies, not anything. I just got to say hats off to Michael Force and all the other department heads behind the scenes who make this whole operation run. For our new members, you may or may not know that there's about 150 people on staff that make this an easy flowing experience for all of you. Yes, dealing with all the things that you and I don't want to deal with. There's lots of stuff that has to happen to make this whole machine run, and it is running very, very well. So anyway, there's a bit of my preamble. Now, as far as what this call is about, you're going to be hearing from me each week as well as my guest speakers when I do have them. I do have one, like I said, coming in just a moment onto our call. You're going to hear about the ideas, the strategies, and in some cases techniques, but mostly the mindset that we've employed to become top earners in our field. And so the rules for this call, as I always like to say, is take what you like and leave the rest. Please see how these ideas apply into your life and into your business. This is free use. Education is free use, right? That's why we've got so much of it here inside our Digital Altitude membership, as well as on this live call and webinar series. And so see how these ideas apply, and please put them to use. And of course, if I say anything that offends you, you'll get over it, just because that's how we roll around here. I'd rather maybe rattle a couple of cages from time to time and help you make a lot of money rather than just keep you comfy and broke. So, so there's my take on that. That's why we do the Black Diamond Call. Tonight we're talking about entrepreneurship as it relates to the digital business lifestyle. Now, what does that mean? Well, my guest speaker who's about to arrive is going to tell you a bit more about what that means. But I can tell you, in my experience, having done this for some decades now and having been successful in it, for those of you who were at the event, you know that it was 15 years ago, that last weekend when we were at the event, 15 years ago that day, in fact, that I went to my first top-tier direct sales conference, right? It wasn't something that was being hosted locally, so I had to travel far, and it wasn't something where I had a guy like Michael Force, basically giving me a free ticket, right? Which all of our RISE members, you got basically free access to all that. No, this cost me thousands and thousands of dollars, and I had to travel across the country and head out to the Caribbean and do all that. But it was at that event that I had a life change. Something shifted in me. I arrived at that experience as a newbie. Like nobody who knew who I was. My sponsor did. Certainly he had sold me the ticket to go. But I was kind of a nobody in the space. I was hopeful, right? And I was making effort, right? I was doing some of that. But I had not yet made my mark, right? There were other people there who were big names, right? Like some of you may recognize names that you'll hear kicked around on these calls sometimes, besides just John Lavenia, but certainly the person who I'm about to bring out here as soon as he arrives. And you may get the idea sometimes that there's this imaginary wall of separation between you and who these top earners are who you hear on these calls. And I'm especially speaking to our new members or members who have been here for a little while and also feel like you have not yet made your mark here in our community or in our industry. Well, anyway, that was where I was at. And but when I left that event after a few days, I left as a leader. I left as the next top earner in that company. Now, again, people didn't know that yet, but I knew that. I knew that. Something shifted in me. Something shifted where there was no longer this line of demarcation between myself and who I perceived all these other, top earners, these, micro celebrities as. There was no more pedestal. There was an expectation. Yes, I had cultivated an expectation that I too could do this, that I too could have an effect in the marketplace. And why not me? And why not you? And that's the question that's coming up for me tonight. Why not you create an effect and have an impact, a rather large impact, in fact, on the lives of other people who also want this sort of online entrepreneur lifestyle? Now, we just got back from an event, which I think is one symptom of having a successful lifestyle, right? A lot of times people are working a job and, vacation is, going to grandma's house. And, where's the cheapest hotel we can get over in Orlando so maybe the kids can go meet Mickey Mouse or something. And, we're going to have to save up for a couple of years to do that. And that's it, right? That is the standard by which a lot of people have chosen to live. And I say chosen to live because if you're in a free market society, which to whatever degree we are, all of us here, we're in, then you really do have choices, right? You've got a bit of autonomy, right? You can govern yourself. Nobody's got a gun to your head saying, well, this is the caste that you were born into. And, by decree of the state, you must be a blacksmith, a lawyer, a whatever, right? So you actually have some power to choose this stuff. And one of the byproducts of choosing to become successful in our space is that you've got a bit of lifestyle. And while going to events like what we just did, or like our Ascend or Peak or Apex events are not necessarily vacations, right? I mean, they're business trips, which my accountant likes to see when I go on business trips. That's good, right? Business trips have advantages. But that doesn't mean we're suffering through it, right? Like when we went to our first Ascend event in the earlier part of this year. We spent a week or so on Maui, suffering through the palm trees and hula dancing and roast pig and coconut drinks. We survived. It's okay. We were able to do that, and we learned a bunch of stuff too, right? That was our business trip, right, where we got to hear from a variety of presenters giving world-class coaching and information. Things that can further our businesses. We went to Peak, right? We did our Peak at the place there in the Dominican Republic. I don't remember the name, something Palma Royal something. Anyway, but we were there, right? The top resort on the entire island. And we had, again, a tremendous event, 24 presenters, including myself. I love doing this stuff. Now you see, where am I going with this? I fell in love with this industry at an event. Now, I loved the idea of it prior to that. And yes, I was hopeful prior to that. And I had heard of the spectacular successes of those who had come before me. But me, as a newbie, as a person who was hoping for success and who had failed in the past, who had been in other businesses and had been to seminars and had been hanging around this industry, but again, had not yet made my mark. I was hopeful and I was making an effort, but it hadn't clicked for me yet. Once I got the reality, once I really started to perceive how this could be my lifestyle, that I do not have to be chained to an office or to a repair shop. Some of you know I used to be a mechanic. Of course, I exited the mechanical fields prior to getting started here in top-tier direct sales. So I had a bit of a rocky road through franchising and multi-level marketing, other home-based businesses I attempted, and not really finding my niche until I found something of significance. Yes, significance. Something where I could not only have a substantial income, and I was just looking for a multiple six-figure income, right? And I say that deliberately. I'm saying it deliberately that way. I was just looking for a multiple six-figure income. I wasn't necessarily looking to make millions. That would be nice, okay? But a multiple six-figure income, for some reason, I could never do that at a job. Every time I got too powerful, every time they thought I was making too much money, they would cut my pay, right? And the franchise world, that was grueling. Oh my goodness. I know some people are proponents of franchising, and yeah, it's a valid business model. If you want to put hundreds of thousands of dollars into something where you're not even going to break even for 2 years and then work 80 hours a week and go home smelling like pickles and onions every day, you could do that, right? That's a deal. A lot of people buy that deal. I think we got a better deal, personally. In fact, I know we do. But that was some of the fire that I had to walk through to ultimately find something that really rang my bell, right?
John,
really
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. We got our guest speaker here. How you doing, brother? I'm going to keep it a mystery who's with us right now. You're going to hear in just a moment. I'm going to introduce you. I can hear you, so sound check is good.
Awesome. I just came in. So
oh,
yeah,
good.
man.
So
What's going
here
on?
we
What's
go.
happening?
So I went to that event, and I realized, my goodness, this could be my lifestyle. Now, again, we're going back to the Stone Age. Now we're going back to, the early days of, me embracing the top-tier direct sales space. But when I emerged from that experience, I did not want to leave that experience. I know, because I get to coach some of you. I'm hearing that from you, those of you who were there. Wow, this event was like nothing I had ever experienced. When's the next one, right? By the way, our next one's going to be Apex, and that's going to be announced shortly. But this is the lifestyle that can be yours. It's real, and you got a taste of that for those of you who are there this week, right? This is the true successful entrepreneur lifestyle. And to help us understand more fully how we can experience this lifestyle is a guy who originally from India has been traveling the world. He goes around the world. Of course, he was there with us. He spoke live on stage, and he's an expert email marketer and entrepreneur in multiple businesses, multi-million-dollar producer, and a guy who our paths have crossed a couple of times, but never as solidly, if I could spit the words out, never as solidly as here in Digital Altitude, where we both are thrilled to assist people, especially our brand new members, in creating that lifestyle, that experience, which I've been describing in the preamble of tonight's conversation. While I was waiting him to show up back at his hotel, who am I talking about? I'm talking about our friend Ankur Agarwal. Ankur, how are you, brother?
I'm going good, bro. How are you?
I am so good, and I'm so glad that you're here. And people sometimes think that we have all this pre-planned. Ankur just got online just now, and so I'm so glad that I was able to get you
I
on.
had my lunch, and I was like waiting for the Uber, and I saw your message. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, there was a call. Okay. So
yeah, well, you know what, man? I've been looking to get you on this call for some months now, and this has been a very auspicious week. We had Jesse Singh on the Wednesday night On the Rise webinar, and now we've got Ankur here on the Black Diamond. And you know what people want to hear, Ankur? They want to hear, how did you go from that brand new marketer to, a top guy in our industry, not just here in Digital Altitude, but throughout the industry, whereas now you can, you live out of a suitcase, you go wherever you want for as long as you want, and, it's not a money concern thing. You've certainly learned a lot about online marketing in the process, and, give us some insight as to how that all happened.
Awesome, man, for sure. Hey, guys, first of all, I'm excited to be here, man, talking to all of you, and you guys definitely are in the right time, in the right place, with the right group of people. I mean, I've been with Digital Altitude, I think, literally from the first month when Michael started the company, and he shared with me the opportunity. Me and Michael have been good friends for about 5 years now, and I could immediately see the vision, hopped onto it. And we have done some remarkable numbers. In fact, this Vegas event, which just got finished, I think we had over 1,000 plus people, and I'm loving my time with Digital Altitude. I think me and my teams, we have done over $8 million in sales now, approaching $9 million and stuff like that. Life is good right now, thanks to a business like Digital Altitude, which pays you every 2 weeks in clockwork. In fact, I'm still in Vegas, just chilling in nice five-star hotel suites, partying and living the life. I've been traveling full-time now for about roughly close to 2 years now. In fact, just before Vegas, I was in LA. Before that, I was in Bangkok, Dubai, Singapore, Bali, Indonesia, and all those places. So it's amazing. But it has been a while. I'm in this game now for almost a decade, actually more than that, about 12 years. And life was not like this back when I started. I'm 34 now. I started in this industry when I was 23, so about 11 years now. I was fresh out of college. I was born in a kind of a lower middle class family in India. Of course, we had food on the table and stuff like that. And somehow my parents managed to send me to, good school and good college. But other than that, for everything else, I had to pretty much struggle all my life. And, you want to buy some expensive clothes. I want to go eat out in some nice restaurants, want to have a nice motorbike or anything like that. All that stuff was kind of a little bit of struggle till the time I started making my own money. So out of college, 22 and a half, I got placed with one of top-notch software companies in India. Like every Indian, my parents wanted me to be a software engineer, which I kind of did. I remember I started with a salary of like $300 a month, and after 2 years of working about 12-hour shifts, it was like $500. And definitely it was not enough. The salary was getting finished by 10th or 15th of every month, and I had lots of credit card bills and everything pounding up. And that was the time I kind of went on to Google. Perhaps many of you kind of did the same thing. You went on to Google or you saw some ads somewhere on the internet, on Instagram, on Google, on an email ad or whatever like that, where someone promised you or kind of told you that, in this opportunity you can make an extra money, and obviously extra money is always welcome. So I was the guy 10 years back looking for extra money, Googled it, and came across an opportunity, got started with them. I think I struggled for about 2 years because I could not really kind of, break through the entire process of. But then I finally kind of got lucky to have few good mentors, managed to follow their advice, started taking daily action, and since then it has been a great ride. And what really worked for me 10 years back and what really works for me till today is basically email marketing, which is the art and science of getting prospects to your list, sending them daily emails, building relationships, and converting those relationships into paid customers. I've been doing this for 10 years. I have a list approaching close to 1 million people now. I've been emailing nonstop for almost 10 years right now. One of the secrets of my success, which has been consistency when it comes to sending daily emails. And yeah, man, life is good. Are you still there, John?
Yeah, I'm here with you. And so I know that there are a lot of people who heard you at the events. About 1,000 of us heard you at the event. And then there are also people who are also looking to do something that's going to convert, like when I have people asking me about, well, I'm getting traffic now, and how do I convert that, into members? And I say, well, a lot of it has to do with your email follow-up. So as soon as you said that you've been emailing people for years, I think right there we just hit a nerve. What do you email people? Like, what do you say? Pretend I'm brand new and I don't know any of this, right? And we will open it up at the end for some commentary and Q&A. But yeah, how did you develop this affinity for email, and not just an affinity for it, but how did you start knowing what to do with all that?
Awesome, good stuff, man. In fact, I was asked the exact same question just now a week back in Vegas when I was speaking in front of this stage of 1,000+ people, like what to write in emails, basically. So, and I understand that can be challenging pretty much for 99% of the people here, because not all of us are born writers, and I don't know the term for it, but it's like the writer's block, as they call it. You're opening your autoresponder, ever get response, MailChimp, and then starting to write your email, and the next moment you're clueless. Oh God, what should we do? And do I have to do it every day? I know exactly how it feels, because I was facing the same thing for the first 2-3 years where it was a struggle for me to write those emails. But over a period of time, over the period of last 5 years especially, I perfected a formula. And these days I teach this formula around the world on everywhere. And that formula is called RVL, which is result, value, lifestyle. I think the key to email marketing is to keeping it very simple, number one. Number two, especially if you're starting out and you're a brand new newbie, the main focus is not how to write a very good quality email or how to even or how to even write your own emails. The number one focus should be to get into the habit of sending one email a day or at least 5 days a week. And there's the old saying, if you do something every day for 21 days, it becomes your habit. So everyone who is on this Black Diamond call, literally the first thing I want you to do is to get into the habit of sending an email a day for the next 21 days. Not follow-up sequence, not like that. One email a day for the next 21 days. Because trust me, if you are able to form this habit of sending one email a day to your list, you will, I mean, as I say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. In a similar way, an email a day keeps all the financial troubles away. So, and the key to do that is to start with other people's content because that's easy. So I like to use the formula called RVL, results, value, lifestyle. Now let me explain. Each one of you, I hope you are in corporate Facebook groups, right? We got Facebook groups for peak, ascent, and all the levels in digital altitude, right from trial members to rise to peak, ascent, apex, and all members. So, I mean, the more groups you are in, the better it is. That's why you should be positioned in as many levels as you can be. Now, in those groups, what you see is every day, every couple of days, a lot of screenshots being posted. Michael posts a lot of, great pics. Let's say, congrats, Jesse saying you just made $18,000 today. Congrats, this, that. So now those are results-based testimonials right there. Each one of you can literally install a free piece of software called Jing, J for Jockey, I for Indigo, N for Nancy, G for Goat. I think it's Jing.com. And it's a product by Camtasia or TechSmith or whatever. And it's free of cost for starters. And you can start taking those screenshots. Now, let's say the screenshot says, hey, let's say Sarah Gello made $5,000 today. So literally, the subject line of your email could be $5,000 today. And the body of the email could be, hey, look, my friend Sarah just had a $5,000 day inside this business, which I want you to have a look at, or which I've been telling you for the past few weeks or something like that. And just post a screenshot. I hope you liked it. Click here to get started, and that link takes them to the sales video. That's about it. Literally takes less than a minute or two to write an email like this, hardly 4 or 5 line emails, and boom, press the send button. Do this for 21 days. Your engagement will skyrocket. Your conversions will double and triple. So that's a result-based email. Now, obviously, not every email should be a pitch or a result-based email, so you mix it up. So that's why I call it the lifestyle-based email. Now, you can talk about the lifestyle of other people in the community, again, on Facebook groups. And if you start following some of the leaders of digital altitude like myself, Jesse, Alex Zubarov, Paulo, and so many others, you will see so many of lifestyle pictures, so many of videos and stuff like that. Again, you can literally take their content and send it to your list saying, look, hey, my buddy Alex and Paulo, they just went to LA. They had a nice dinner at Beverly Wilshire Hotel. And thanks to the power of this amazing system. So now you're talking about other people's lifestyle. And then talk about value. Again, in the beginning, if you're a new person, no one expects you to start giving your own value because, to be honest, you don't have much to teach right now. So the best is to start, again, taking other people's valuable content. Many leaders in digital altitude have value-based content on their Facebook wall, on their Instagram channel. Again, you can leverage that. In fact, I do it till today. Of course, now I'm into this for 12 years. I use a lot of my own content. But at the same time, like when I was in this event in Vegas, and Onyx Singhal, who was speaking on stage, and he's like $100 million plus earner, all I did was literally switched on my Facebook Live, and I recorded his speech, posted on my Facebook wall, and emailed my list saying, hey, lessons from a $100 million online guy. And just a link to that FB Live. So even I do it till today. that is leveraging other people's branding and credibility. So I guess if you use this former RVL and you practice it long enough, each one of you will be like, you will just crush it with emails. That's my perspective on that, John.
Right. Now, at what point do you pitch, right? Because I know a lot of people are thinking, well, I gotta get people into the funnel, right? So is it just like as a postscript, here's by the way, click here and you can see how that works, or how do you manage to pitch without having a pitch every single time you send an email, and thus everybody unsubscribes, and this guy Ankur, he's just a nonstop pitch master, right? Or do you have that? You just have a lot of unsubscribes.
So I mean, the first thing is I don't worry too much about unsubscribes, because there's a saying, when you get 100 people on your email list, anyhow the maximum who will buy from you will be, let's say, 10%. And if to be honest, if you're lucky, if you can get 10% to take a trial or a $37 a month offer. So out of 100, I know anyhow more than 10 will not be buyer leads. They will be freebie seekers. And no matter what I do, no matter if the best email copywriter in the world is also sending emails, 10 to 20% of your list will anyhow never open emails. In fact, these days, with the amount of emails floating around every day, you're lucky if you can get a 20 to 30% email open rate on a long period of time. First thing is not to worry too much about unsubscribes. Number two is, as I said, mix it up. So your one email could be a pitch email. Your next email is a value-based email. Your next email is a lifestyle email. And then again, mix it up with a results pitch email. So just keep mixing it up. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And, there is some training that exists that talks about 80% value, or based on the formula that you're using, results, value, and lifestyle. So 80% sort of bringing someone closer, engaging them with causing them to want to cooperate and to read more and to keep opening. And then 20% would be the pitch. 20% would be like a call to action kind of a thing. Do you follow that sort of formula?
So I don't follow exactly 80-20. I do more 50-50. So whether it's my Facebook wall, whether it's my email list, I like to do, let's say I'm on Facebook, I do one value-based Facebook Live, and then next is typically a pitch. And same as with emails. One email is pitch, one email is value. So I like to do 50-50 now, but that's purely because of the numbers I generate. But if I'm starting out and I'm low on numbers, I'm doing like 10, 20 leads a day, I would do more 80-20, 80 value, 20 pitch.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so at this point, and I don't mean to just do an interview style, but at this point, we've got so many new people, and you got to meet a lot of them this weekend. But there are many more who just got started since then, or who were not able to make it to Vegas.
Right.
I wanted to go a little bit more into the mindset of this, because you started with, you were mentioning a $300 to $500 salary, and now here you are traveling the world and doing all this. I know, and I've been playing dumb here a little bit on this call, but I know that that's a big, right there, that's a big transition, not only in terms of, the worldly success, that's a very favorable transition, but prior to the worldly success, there were some decisions you had to make. And here you are, well known in the top tier direct sales space. Tell us a bit about the mindset. Like, what did it take for you to even be willing to develop this expertise, in your case, email. But what led up to that?
Awesome. So I'll say, guys, the first thing is you got to understand that the stuff which we are doing here is, number one, it's very, very, very new. I mean, if you talk about top-tier direct sales industry, I mean, I think it's hardly like 10 or 15 years old. Businesses like Digital Altitude were not even there 10 years back, where, everything is plug and play. Literally, all the products are there, merchant processing, customer service, coaches, everything is there. All you literally are doing is driving traffic, sending emails, and making money on autopilot. So for a lot of people who are in your friend circle, your family members, your brothers, sisters, mom, dad, uncle, aunt, for them to even understand this business model is very, very, very tough unless and until they are themselves being participants, number one. Number two is, I mean, a lot of them will think that this does not work, this is a scam, X, Y, Z. I mean, that's what at least my family thought 10 years back when I got started into businesses like that, because they had no clue of what exactly I'm getting into, or, how exactly this business is done. So first thing is be ready to face the resistance from people close to you, which can be very tough, especially when you're starting out. But trust me, it's your life. You should be the one making decisions. And trust me, just when I say this, you are in the right time, right place with the right group of people, number one. Number two is understand it's a long-term game versus a short-term game. Just like any other industry in the world, whether it's NBA, whether it's cricket, whether it's real estate, insurance, whether you want to be a big Hollywood actor, a celebrity, whatever you want to do, it takes time. It takes, there's a saying, it takes a minimum of 5 years to get good at something. It takes a minimum of 10 years to get great at it. And it makes, I don't know, it takes up to 20 years to 30 years to become a master or a legend in something. I mean, look at all these guys, let's say, who are the top A-level celebrities and actors in Hollywood. I mean, they have been in this game, whether it's Brad Pitt, whether it's Tom Cruise. I mean, any of these guys, top-level actors and actresses in Bollywood, Hollywood, all around the world, they are in that game for 20, 30 years. So this industry of internet marketing, top-tier direct sales industry, it's a business. It's a serious business. It's a profession. Do not take it like a get-rich-quick scheme. I mean, do not think that just because you have started today, just because you have invested $10,000 in your Ascend or Peak or Apex, that money will suddenly start falling from the sky. You got to be willing to be coachable. You got to do your daily assignments. You got to take action steps, and you got to play this game as if you are in this for life. And trust me, if you do this long enough, now here we do not believe in a you got to wait for 10 years to make money. You literally can start making money 7 days to 14 days to maybe a couple of months from now. But then just treat it like a long-term game. Immune yourself from outside world. We have amazing leadership inside Digital Altitude. At the same time, there are amazing books on mindset, which I can recommend. For me, the book which started this whole thing for me was a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, which talks all about why you should be an entrepreneur versus an employee, the idea of leverage. Then a book on, a mindset was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Again, very, very, very powerful book. How to win friends and influence people. These 3-4 books in my first 6 months in the business kind of helped me a lot with my mindset stuff. And to be honest, like for the first 22 years, 23 years in my life, all I was literally trained and being coached and being taught was how to get a good job and get good grades and live a decent life. No one talked about dreams. No one talked about major ideas. No one talked about taking risks. No one talked about becoming a millionaire or a multi-millionaire or even a billionaire. It was a very, very, very middle-class talk, middle-class thing. Kind of people, whether it was on YouTube, whether it was on Google, whether it was through books, courses, and stuff like that. I mean, you don't need to know a billionaire to think like a billionaire. You don't need to personally know a multi-millionaire to think like a multi-millionaire. I mean, you can literally these days go onto YouTube, Google, all these amazing websites on audible.com, all these crazy things, and literally start learning from guys like Anthony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, Ty Lopez, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, so many of the brilliant minds in our space, and start thinking like them and have that mindset. So yeah, think for the long term, learn from the top guys, surround yourself with the right people, and take massive action. And hopefully you'll start crushing it.
Yeah, it sounds like you and I have read a bunch of the same books, and of course we recommend them. Oh yeah, definitely. And to give you a bit of history, because this was, I've been successful anyway in this space since 2002, and top-tier direct sales, from my view, originated in the 1990s, but it was nothing like we have now. This whole idea of having coaches and having all these luxuries, really, certainly the online marketing aspect of it, and something as orderly and organized as what we've got here in Digital Altitude. Back when I started, Ankur, we had hotel meetings, right?
Yeah.
And we generated leads with, I mentioned this recently on a call, we were putting flyers on cars and doing newspaper ads and bringing people to the local meeting where we were going to have a whiteboard presentation and all this. which I suppose can still work, right? Although we've kind of graduated from all that, and we have so much more reach now, But I remember back late '90s, hearing top-tier direct sales offers, and I had not gotten started back then. I was experimenting at that point with network marketing and typical MLM kind of home-based businesses, but I had never made my mark. So this was like a great door opening for me, back in '02 when I found it, even without all these automations and things like we have now. In fact, you know what? I remember a lot of the old school guys would discourage any of this newfangled internet stuff. It's like, you don't make money on the internet. You bring people to the hotel meeting, So obviously you've made a few dollars on the internet. We all have since then.
Yeah.
But I think that what is timeless, though, okay, so our methods have changed a lot, but the foundation, like you mentioned, these books. You mentioned Think and Grow Rich, for example. That was written in 1936. Yeah. So here's this guy, Napoleon Hill. And anyone who has not read Think and Grow Rich, avail yourself of a copy of this book right now and read at least a chapter a day. I've read the book a dozen times. But here's a guy who studied the most successful people of the Industrial Revolution. These were all friends of Andrew Carnegie, the first billionaire. So like Ankur is talking about, you don't have to know a billionaire per se. Here's this guy, Napoleon Hill, who knew the first billionaire. And that billionaire introduced him to his friends, right? Guys like Henry Ford and William Wrigley and this wacky Thomas Edison dude in New Jersey who was making light bulbs and stuff. And go meet these guys and figure out what they're doing, right? And then create something for the common man to lift himself up by his bootstraps and make something of himself. And so all of this stuff is here right now. And I think a lot of times, Ankur, I don't know about, in India, because I didn't grow up there, you did, okay, but I think a lot of times people put themselves into a mold, like a caste system. And I know I mentioned this before you were able to get on the call. It was something that came to mind. I was thinking about, caste systems, and you were born into that class of people, and you can never be anything else, right? And I think despite the fact that we have so much opportunity, I think a lot of times people just opt into that, unknowingly, just because of conditioning or, every generation of my family has been middle class or lower class or whatever. I guess that's my lot.
I know it's a lot of limiting beliefs being taught in the world. Now, I remember growing myself as a kid, like literally every week, and I love my father and nothing against him, but every week I'll be lectured on, I don't know the English translation for that phrase in my language, which is Hindi, but, only dream as much as your bed sheet is or something like that. So don't dream beyond your means and stuff like that. But if you think about it, like right now, I am sitting in my nice suite in Trump Hotel in Vegas, and I'm just looking from my windows, and I can see Wynn and Ankur Hotel on one side. On the other side, I'm seeing Cosmo, Venetian, Mirage, and every single building in this dream city was actually dreamt by somebody whatever years back and now is reality, right? So as human beings, just remember, guys, no matter where, first of all, where you were born at. Now, here I am sitting in this beautiful city, Vegas, the showcase of the world, but I was born and raised in a town called Allahabad in India, which is not even one of the main cities. English was never my main language, and in a lower middle class family. So I could have possibly every excuse in the world on why I cannot make it big in this space on an international level. In a similar way, some of you might be, it can be even in even more remote countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, China, or whatever, all different kinds of countries. You come in a poor family. You were born in a crappy neighborhood. No one in your family has ever made money, so you're thinking that you cannot make money because you have the genes of not making money or stuff like that. None of that is true. Your life is your life. It's you who decides where you want to go in this life. That's about it. So don't limit yourself for anything.
Do you think there was something special about you that you decided to raise yourself up above mediocrity, or was there something like in contrast in your childhood perhaps where you just said, you know what, I refuse to comply. I'm going to rebelling against this, or was it just you just hoped for more, or you had some sort of a, I don't know, message from the gods or something? Like how did that happen for you?
No, I think for me, I mean, I am someone, I'm not blessed with any kind of extra skills or something like that. Two things which really worked well in my favor was, number one, I never liked the word compromise. The word compromise doesn't appeal to me at all. I mean, if you tell me I cannot have that thing, I will do whatever it takes to have that thing. So, when I was told that, no, I cannot have that nice thing, it was as a child, like I cannot have that car. It kind of sat down somewhere in my heart that one day I will have that car, I will have that house, I will travel the world and stuff like that. So first is I don't like the word compromise. Second thing is I guess it was just being in the right time, in the right place with the right group of people, then hustling my way up, learning the skills. So for every game, I mean, for everything, guys, there is a 80% mindset and that stuff, then 20% is the skills. So with this internet marketing game, with digital altitude also, there are only a few set of skills which you need to master. The skill of driving traffic, the skill of converting that traffic into customers via emails. If you would really master these two skills, you can make as much money as you want. So I guess mastering a few of the skill sets and along with that having a never say die attitude were the two things which worked for me, man. Nothing special, just basics.
Yeah. Well, it sounds too simple. And I know guys like you and I who
To be honest, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, there's a saying, right? There's no lack of talent in this world. What lacks is, the people actually making it happen, or the people, there's no lack of ideas in this world, but what lacks is people actually taking action on those ideas and being consistent with it. I mean, I've been doing emails for 10 years now. Guess what? People who joined my email list 10 years back, they do business with me till today. The single business problem in online space I see, especially in email marketing I see, is people, get excited, buy a solo ad for $5,000, send 20 emails, and never to email their list after 20 days.
Right.
The consistency in the long run, simplest of the action, drive traffic every day, email your list every day. You do this for 10 years, you'll be a multimillionaire.
That's beautiful. I'm gonna make an assessment here. So if I could be so presumptuous, I think that rebel attitude, that I don't want to compromise. What, I can't have the car? Let me show you how I'm going to get the car now, right? So I think that sort of contrarian attitude, and knowing that you're going to go where you want to go, that's sort of a self-determinism about the whole thing, I think is irresistibly attractive to other people who are just like that. And I think a lot of times, especially when people are newer, they sometimes have a worthiness issue. Like, well, who am I to be so bold? Who am I to command not only the attention, but to induce the decision of another person to join me when I haven't even made my mark yet? I'm no guru. I don't have the credentials of guys like John Lavenia or Ankur Agarwal. My goodness, I'm a newbie, and I think that mindset right there, that timidness and that lack of force, I think a lot of times weakens people's message, whether they know it or not. But if we're determined, like you were, like, you know what, go ahead, give me a challenge. Tell me I can't have this. That's beautiful. And having that attitude of a bit of defiance, I think goes a long way towards attracting people unapologetically and inducing decision in them that, you know what, this guy's going somewhere. I can tell you, Ankur, for my part, that's exactly what it is.
I guess you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I've had people get started with me, like you said, that have been on your list for years, right? I've had people on my lists for a long time, right? And sometimes people take a long time just to get ready to make a decision, just based on personal, whatever's going on in their lives. But you know what? I've had people get started with me in businesses where they said, you know what? I don't even know what the product is, but whatever you're doing, let's do that. So what's that about? That's called people buy from people. And I think the world is starved for leadership. We've talked about this on these calls before, where, I don't think the world has any use for like more victims or something. I think we've got plenty of those. I think we need leaders. And when people are ready to be, to finally get the results that they know they could get deep down inside, and they find somebody with a bit of power behind their voice, as I talked about in my first book, iron in their words, right? You've got iron words.
Right.
Yeah, then it's like, you know what, I'm going to have a leap of faith here. I'm going to do something. And I think if we can induce that, that's all mindset, by the way, guys. That's not because you mastered the, the results, value, lifestyle formula of Ankur's, email campaigns. That's just a mindset thing, what prerequisite is there for that? Only that you're willing to get out of your own way and you're willing to lead other people. That's it. You got to be willing to lead other people. Sales and marketing is the highest paid profession in the world statistically, but you got to be willing to do it, right? And don't shy away from the idea that you are going to cause actions that people, in many cases, are uncomfortable actions, right? Well, if they want to be comfortable, what do they need you for? They can just, I guess, keep their job and do whatever they already know how to do. But the people are looking for progress. They're looking for someone who knows they're going somewhere. And that's the only reason any sane person would follow you is because you're going somewhere. There's insane people too, but whatever. But yeah, this is a person who wants to go somewhere, and you're going somewhere. Oh, sign me up for that. You know what, Ankur? I got so much out of what you were just talking about here. I want to open it up for Q&A comments. Anything else you wanted to say before we open up the call?
I guess like to end this with a line which I heard some years back, and I think it was amazing. It was like, we as human beings, we cannot decide where we are born or in what circumstances are we born and stuff like that. I mean, like you can decide whether you're born in a rich family or a poor family or stuff like that. But I think a lot of us can decide. I mean, obviously I know that there's no surety in terms of when we'll go above, but then a lot of us can decide our future, can decide we are going to die broke or we are going to die rich. It's whatever is happening in our lives right now. I think if each one of us, we take 100% responsibility of it, we don't blame the society, we don't blame Trump for it, we don't blame our parents, our neighborhood, our friends, our whatever, X, Y, Z. We just take 100% responsibility, get our mind right and taking action. I mean, each one of us can be successful right now. The world has 2020, 2017, and there's so many opportunities to make money. The world is so connected. There was never a better time to make money than right now. All we got to do is take action. That's it.
Yeah, it's great.
And what better way than to take action in digital altitude?
Well, you know what? You're here. You've seen a lot. You've been around a lot, and you're here. So right there is a message, right?
Absolutely.
You can go anywhere and make money, and here you are. So, so good stuff. We're going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A. Stand by. All right, guys. So we do have Ankur Agarwal online with us now. If you'd like to address Ankur live and in person, you can go ahead and, if you're on a phone, you can hit *6. That will unmute your line, or it will raise your hand, and then I will unmute you manually. And of course, if you're on your Digital Altitude free conference call app, you can just click the raise your hand button, and that will raise your hand. We do have the lines open now, and this is your shot to get live on the air with Ankur. So go ahead, and now the lines are open. If you guys want to, who wants to be first? Go ahead and raise your hand now. I do know we've got a bunch of people online, although they're a little bit quiet tonight, Ankur. So I'm going to go ahead and ask one more time. If you want to come out here on the line, go ahead and raise your hand now. And I do see our first caller in queue. Here we go. We are going live to Jagdish. Jagdish, you're live on the air.
Hey, John. Hey, Ankur. Great to be with you guys. It was fantastic to meet you in Vegas, and got a lot from you there and a lot from you today. So my question is, you have 1 million subscribers on your email list. A lot of us would have stopped when we had 1/10 of that list. So my question is, are you continuing to build your email list, and what strategies would you recommend for someone that's a couple of months into this business to build their email list?
Oh, great question. So firstly, yes, I'm definitely actively building my email list. In fact, the first thing every morning which I check every day when I wake up after having my cup of coffee, is how many subscribers I generated in the last 24 hours. Because the email is such a high leverage game that, I mean, the time it takes to send one email, whether it's 10,000 people or a million people or 10 million people, it's the same. So the bigger is your list, the bigger is the leverage, and more money you will make in the long run. So I never let go of that statistics. Yes, I track my leads every single day. On the strategy side, I mean, all sorts of different traffic sources, man. As people say, I mean, there's so many ways to drive traffic. What really works is the one which works for you, kind of thing. You know, like Jesse Singh is a master of SEO. Jason Stone is a master of Instagram. I kind of like to do a lot of Facebook and a lot of paid traffic via solo ads and Google AdWords.
I see. Thank you.
So you got to pick your own strategy which works for you and then focus and scale it on. It also depends on how much money you have or how much time you have, you know. So accordingly, you can decide.
Right.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Jagdish. And yes, we have trainings. For those of you who've already been through the Aspire 18 steps, there is the training section that comes after that, which reveals many practical application type of methods. Not that you're going to do them all, but you'll review them all and pick what seems easy, what seems fun, what seems like it's in your wheelhouse. And then one or two methods, and if you master those and you want to expand from there, then go from there. But I really like what you said, Ankur, about what works for you. It's a wild variable, right? Ankur likes paid marketing. Some people, like you mentioned, Jesse, he just writes an article every day, right? So yeah, very, very different methods. Thanks, Jagdish. We're going to go to our next caller, which is somebody from the 209 area code. Who are we speaking with? 209, you're live on the air. I don't know your name, but you are live on the air. You might be double muted. Check your mute button on your phone. Looks like you've dialed in with a phone.
John, it's Veronica.
Hey, Veronica, where are you from?
I'm from Stockton, California. How are you?
Good. You're live on the air, Veronica.
All right, sounds good. Hey, so my question is once you start doing your email list, and so I'm going to be focusing on Facebook and email lists, do you have to ask permission to use other people's like paychecks and lifestyle pictures and things like that?
Oh, very good question. 8 out of 10 times I will say you don't have to. So, I mean, any of the screenshots which are shared inside, let's say, Digital Altitude's Facebook group and stuff like that, I mean, when Michael is posting it, it's already public, so I don't think so there is any issue in sharing that. Now, also, many of the times, like when these leaders are sharing their stuff on their wall, which is pretty much a public place, so 8 out of 10 times it's not an issue, but just to be on the safe side, you can always message that particular leader or something like that and take their permission. I think most of them, they will be cool with it.
Okay. And then my other question is once you start getting an email list and, a client list from Facebook, do you actually call each and every one of those people? I've heard different stories, so I'm just curious what your take is on that.
You mean like calling them on their phone, cell phone?
Yeah. Yes.
So I don't do it these days because of the volume I do, but when I was starting out, yes, I was doing that. So I was collecting their phone numbers and stuff like that. But I'm talking about like 5 or 10 leads a day kind of thing, nowhere close to 1,000 leads a day. So when you're starting out, your number one focus should be to get in touch with your list. It could be via Facebook chat or it could be via phone call. Yes, it works like that. I mean, it works for sure.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you very much.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Veronica. Great question. We're going to go to our next caller, who I also don't know the name of, 707 area code. Who's this?
This is Kendrick.
Hey, Kendrick, where are you from?
I'm from Napa, California.
All right, Kendrick and Napa, you're live on the air.
All right, thank you. Yeah, it was great seeing both you guys at the MME and the summit. Learned a lot from you. I'm pretty jacked up. But Ankur, do you follow different themes when you're emailing your personal side of it, not the business side, like what's going on in your personal life or kind of seasonal things like that?
Oh yeah, all the time, all the time. So, I mean, one of my favorite emails is, let's say, hi from Vegas or hi from Bangkok or hi from Dubai. So when I'm traveling around the world, for example, I kind of always tell people that I'm in this part of the world. So that's like a little bit of lifestyle element. I get personal results in business. I share them. I do a lot of Facebook Lives, so whenever I'm doing a Facebook Live or any kind of topic, I kind of share with people. So I don't like to talk too much about my personal life. That's just me as a person. Even my Facebook is never about my personal life. It's always about business. So it's still, I will say, always business. But if you're a person who talks personal life on Facebook, I mean, you are that kind of person who likes to share your personal life with people, then go ahead and talk about it. Doesn't matter. I mean, it works actually.
Okay, more themed then, I guess. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, so it's really whatever you're comfortable with. Yes, I know a few of my very good friends. They are also very good with email marketing, and they literally like write an email a day talking on what's happening in their life day-to-day basis, and somehow relating some incident in their day with a lesson, and at the end giving a call to action. It just takes a little bit more skill to do that, though. But yeah, I mean, if you like that, doing that kind of stuff, you can.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Kendrick. You know, what you mentioned there right towards the end, as far as sort of creating a bridge between whatever I want to talk about and what does that mean for you, the reader. You know, that's we can kind of add meaning however we like. You know, in fact, I used an example, Ankur, a few months back on this call, where I just, I don't know, came up with an example of there's a bum walking down the street, you know, picking up, soda can. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what that means. You know, that's like the message of life, and you know how opportunity, you know, could be in a can that's right in front of you. You know, just make it up.
Yeah, you always link stuff up. Yeah.
Right. Good stuff. Thank you, Kendrick. We're going to go to I believe our final caller for the night, Cheng. Cheng, you're live on the air.
Yeah, I was playing around with the Facebook, and the share link is almost like connect a message with the email or not.
Sorry, Cheng, I don't think we're understanding your question.
The Facebook, and I was hitting the share. Is that possible that there's wrong with it? Is that right? Or to click on it, almost like an email?
I'm not sure if I get the question, John.
Well, he's asking if sharing something on Facebook qualifies as an email, and clearly no. But sharing something and perhaps having a call to action, getting on your page or opting into your funnel, that would qualify as an opt-in. Which in that case you've got email, and in your case, Ankur, you've got people that you obviously attract onto your list that come from a variety of different sources. But if that wasn't valuable for you to have control of that list, then yeah, I suppose you could just do your marketing and not have people subscribe, just be on Facebook or whatever. But there's a distinct difference in the value of a subscriber versus the value of somebody who likes your Facebook page or something. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, someone liking your Facebook page is okay, but when someone gives you an email address, that just means that person has shown more trust in you. So email is definitely more valuable than a Facebook Live.
Mm-hmm. Cheng, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it's. I just wondering if there's it's almost like I can do that, and then the email like you have like learn more and be specific, then just go on Facebook and do that and do like almost the same connections.
Yeah, well, Facebook certainly will expand your reach, but like Ankur is talking about, having subscribers is a whole different world. Plus, there are a lot of things you can't do on Facebook. You know, Facebook will shut you down for like, I know a lot of people have attempted to advertise their network marketing deal or something, and Facebook won't allow that. But once they're a subscriber, now Facebook and its authoritarian policies are not in play, and you can say whatever you want, right? So yeah, get them off Facebook, get them onto your list, and then from there, get them in the sales funnel, get them into free coaching, free trial, and that's the whole process right there. So but it can certainly start on Facebook, and we'd have a glut of training on how to do Facebook, whether it's paid or free methods. Just check out the recorded training archive, which is under the resources section of your Digital Altitude members site.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Oh, we do have one more caller, and so we're coming up. Yeah, we're at the top of the hour. We'll take one more. Here we go. Hold on. And Kirsten, you're live on the air. Kirsten, you're live on the air. You might be double muted. Kirsten, are you with us? Check your microphone. Looks like you pressed your mute and unmute button, but you pressed it again. Doesn't seem to be working. Not sure what's going on. Kirsten, one more call for Kirsten. And Kirsten's having technical difficulties. Sorry, Kirsten. Well, we do have Martin here. Hold on a second. All right, Martin, you will be our last caller for tonight. Martin, you're live on the air.
Hey, thanks, guys. Hey, Ankur and John. It was really great working out with you guys at the gym. Actually, I got both of you there.
You know what? Every time we're at an event, I know
we kind of bump into each other in the gym.
Yeah. Ankur and I are gym rats. So there you go. And so are you, Martin. Apparently.
Yeah. My wife is dragging me there. Actually, she's next to me right now. but I love being there. Just not that morning. So Ankur, I loved your talk too at the MME, and everything about email that you're talking about right now is amazing. And I mean, some of the training that I've taken is, if your list is not responsive, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, just kind of clear them out and take them off your list. What would you have to say about that?
I think, it is important, and especially all the autoresponders want you to do that also, because the less responsive your list is, it's kind of a red signal, in terms of your autoresponder company. So I don't personally clear my list every 90 days, but I do it once every 6 months.
Okay.
All the unopened for 6 months, I kind of delete them every 6 months, yes.
So anybody that's not active for 6 months, you just clear them out. Do you give them a last chance? Do you segment them out and say, hey guys, you're dead to me now, or something like that, something to stir them up, and then take them off, or what?
I could probably do that. Maybe I should do it, but my theory is that I've been literally emailing them every single day for 6 months. So if they have not opened any emails in 6 months, chances of them opening any more emails is almost like next to impossible kind of thing. But maybe I can try that out. I'm about to delete you, open kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've done that, by the way. I've written emails that said, this is the last email you will ever receive from me, ... right? And then they opened the email. Finally, they opened an email. But I've never made a sale with it. I wound up deleting them anyway. So interesting concept, though. But and that was just me. I'm not saying that you should just delete. If you're inclined to write a last chance email, Martin, go for it. But the other thing is, and I've got a question for you, Ankur, because you are like an email mega star here. Open rates are not necessarily the gospel, right? So what if the pixel doesn't fire? Would you rather track with click-through rates, like if they've never clicked on an email in 6 months, or is open rates close enough? We just go ahead and delete based on that.
I just kind of focus on open rates, not the click-through rates, because clicking is a very different thing versus opening. I believe if a person is opening your emails, that person is active, and your open rate will always be more than the click-through rate. So if open rate is, let's say, 10%, click-through rate is, let's say, 1%, right? So I won't go ahead and delete based on click-through rate, because then you will end up deleting a lot more of your subscribers than you should be. So open rate, I guess, is a good enough metrics.
Okay. Well, you get what I'm asking is because, the graphic pixel firing, and if I'm confusing people right now, I apologize.
I get it. I think it pretty much works well with most of the good autoresponder companies, whether it's Agarwal, GetResponse. It's a pretty good way to judge a list.
Yeah, and who's reading ASCII, plain text these days? I don't think anybody, right? So
I haven't sent a plain text email like for ages now. Always HTML.
Right. Okay. So fair enough. If they're not able to fire a graphic pixel, a tracking pixel, then yeah, delete them. So okay.
Yeah.
Very good. You know, I know that there are people still on AOL. I think AOL is shutting down their messenger program now. Anyway, there's some changes happening.
AOL, Hotmail, these 2-3 emails are like the worst. So
yeah.
I mean, I say people using a Hotmail or AOL, I'm like really, man? The whole world is in Gmail and Gmail now.
Right. Yeah. It's. I remember when people were excited to get email. You've got mail. It's like, oh, now it's like every 10 seconds. You've got mail. You've got mail. So, all right. Thanks, Martin. Great question, sir.
That's good.
All right. And with that, we're going to end Q&A. And Ankur, thank you, my friend. Finally, I got you on a Black Diamond call. Look at this. The gods
My
are
pleasure.
smiling on
It was
us.
fun. Yeah. Finally kind of managed to make it. I'm so happy.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you for your contribution, and of course, thank you what you did last week at the event. We'll look forward to hearing more from you on these calls in the future. And everybody, thank you for joining us here on the Black Diamond Call, which I love hosting each week. So, Ankur, my friend, we'll see you soon.
Awesome, bro. See you. Bye, everyone. Take care. Thanks.